All right, so today's lesson is on frequency tables. Now, let's break that down. A table is something like this, kind of like a chart. But the word frequency you may or may not heard depending on how much statistics knowledge you have or how much you've done with statistics. For my kiddos, I know you've heard the word, but just to give a refresher, frequency just means how many times or how often something is happening or occurring. So a frequency table is showing how many times our data is occurring. So pretty much what we're doing is we're taking a data set, and I've got two examples here that we'll go through. We're going to take a data set. We're going to break it into different little intervals based on the range of our data set and what would make most sense. And then we're going to go through and count each data point and put it on our frequency table. We're going to do that by using tally marks. Once we get all of these gone through, we go through each one of them. All of our tallies will be done. We will add them up, and that will go into the frequency. So it means that we're just figuring out how many numbers in our data set are between 10 and 11. How many of points in our data set are from 12 to 13. So let's just jump in and get started. On example 1, so I've got my data set here. I've already got my table set up, but I will go through and explain it. So you've got 3 different sections: your data, your tallies, and your frequency. So the way I got these numbers here, because they are small ranges, they're little intervals of our data. I looked and I found the smallest number in my data, which here is 10, and I found the biggest number, 14. So that means that all points in this data set are between 10 and 14. And so I kind of had to think to myself, what is an easy interval we could use to get from 10 to 14? And that's what I did. I did 10 and 11, 12 to 13, 14 to 15. That's just counting by twos, if that's an easy way to think of it. So what we do now is we just go through our data and start marking them off. So we'll start with 10. We've got 10. Okay, well that would fall under this data interval, so I'm going to put a tally. 11. Okay, this would fall under this data interval. And you just keep going just like that until you're completely out of numbers. 13 would go here in the 12 to 13. Uh-oh. So some of you may remember and some may not. This would be my 5th data point in this interval. But I already have 4 tallies. You don't put a 5th tally. What you do is you cross them out to make 5. Now some of you may already know how to do that, and that's totally okay. Just wanted to stop and make sure that we were all on the same page. So let's keep going. We've got 2 more. And we're done. So we've got all of our tallies. Go through and double check and make sure you didn't miss any data points. And then all you do from this step, guys, is count how many tallies you have. So here we've got 6. Here we've got 4. And from 14 to 15, we only have 1. So if you did it right and you were able to get all of your data points, you could do a quick check and add all these up and then go back and count. So 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So I'm going to count and make sure I got all my data points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if this equals what all of those equal, then you did it right. And this is a frequency table. That's all it is. You're just filling in data and putting it into a chart, which makes it a little bit easier to read. Now, this one is a little bit different because the overall range of the data set is smaller, which means that it's easier to find these intervals. The range of this data set was only 4 because we were dealing with numbers 10 to 14. But if we look at example 2, you'll see that are, we've got a bunch of different numbers going on. We're talking about jersey numbers. And if anybody who plays sports or if you watch sports, you know that jersey numbers could be anything from 0 to 99. You're never really going to see anybody with a 3-digit jersey number. I've never seen it happen. But that means the range for this could be 0 to 99, which is huge. So you can't count by twos over like we did over here. You're gonna have to get a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try to find my lowest number and my highest number. So just kind of scanning through 5, that's pretty low. Let's see if we can beat 5. Yep, we've got a 4. So 4 is our smallest. That's our minimum value. And if we go through, it looks like our highest is going to be 79. So I've got to find a range or an interval pattern that would take me from 4 to 79. Now remember, it's very important that your intervals, this little section, and I'll make a note of it, these sections have to be even. So they must be even intervals. And I don't mean even as in like 2, 4, 6, 8. I mean they can't be 0 to 5 and then 6 to 20 and then 21 to 23. They have to be even. Like here we counted by 2s. Here it's by 20s. So 0 to 19, because we're including 0 as a number. 0 to 19, that would give us 20. 20 to 39, that is also 20. 40 to 59, that's 20. 60 to 79, that's also 20. That's what I mean by even. So again, I found this out just by going and finding what the total range would be, and kind of dividing it up as best as I feel like I could. You really don't have to have more than 4 and 5 if you really want to, data intervals. Like here we had 3 because it wasn't a whole lot of data and the range was very small. So, but here we went up to 4. It's really kind of up to you and how you would like to do it. But I decided to go by 20s to make it easier on myself. So let's just go through our data and start tallying off. So 41 would go here, 23, 19, 74, 11, 22, 5, 61, 19, 79, 25, 55, 72, 4, 37, and 42. So I've got all my tallies done, and now all I have to do is transfer my tallies to the frequency, which just means, again, how many times there are numbers from 0 to 19. And in this data set, there are 5 numbers that occur between the interval 0 to 19. Here there are 4, 3, and 4 again. Now again, just like I said, a little trick to make sure that you hit all your data points. You can add up your frequencies and then count to make sure that they're all included. So 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, 12 plus 14, or 4, excuse me, is 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I did get all of my numbers, and that is how you do frequency tables. That's how you create a frequency table. Feel free to watch this video or rewind if you need to, or missed a point if I was talking too fast. But that's it. Now, what you use frequency tables for is really just a way to display your data in a different way. but we're going to use frequency tables typically to make histograms, and we're going to talk more about that in another video. But just very quickly, I'll kind of do a little doodle in the bottom to kind of show you what I'm talking about. You've seen them before, you just might not know that that's what they are. But histograms are basically kind of like bar graphs that show the different intervals kind of like this. So this is a histogram, and this is what we use our frequency tables for to create. So we're using frequency tables to create histograms, but we will go over all of that in another video. So for now, talk to you later.